All right, everyone, welcome back. We will now do the second demo for today, which is demo on importing objects from Google Earth into BEEST. And in this demo, I will show how to do that with a new tool that we have developed, which will be part of BEEST 10.01, the upcoming release of BEEST. All right, so the agenda for this demo is that I will demonstrate how to draw objects such as point sources and buildings in Google Earth, then how to save your objects into a file, and then transport their coordinates into BEEST. And for this demo, we have a simple facility with one building and one source. So let's go ahead and load that into Google Earth using our existing feature. And once you have opened your facility, your existing facility in Google Earth, or if you're starting from scratch, doesn't matter. The process is pretty much the same. In Google Earth, there's a toolbar at the top of the screen here, which has several buttons for drawing objects. So going from left to right, you have add a place mark, add a polygon, and add a path. And these are the three buttons that we're concerned with. And a place mark is just used to draw a single point in Google Earth, which can be used for a point source, or a volume source, or a receptor, such as a sensitive receptor. The next button, the polygon, can be used to draw just any polygon, such as for a building or for an area source. And finally, a path is just a line, and you can use that to draw a road. So let me go ahead and show you how to use those options with the data that we have loaded here. Now, zooming in on my stack, which is on the right here, I see that it is actually pretty close to where it should be, but I do want to adjust it a little bit. To do that, I move the mouse over to the stack, to my pin here, and click the right button on the mouse, and then click Properties. What this does then is that after that you can click this pin and drag it to the location where it should be. Let me just move that down just a little bit down here. So now I have clicked my source to where I think it should be. I'm going to release the mouse and click OK. And then its new position will be saved. And also, as you can see, all of the objects that we had in BEEST are shown on the left side here, on this left area called Places. So now, I actually do want to add a new stack right here where this other white area is with a tall shadow. So to do that, I click the Add Place Mark button on the top. When I do that, Google Earth opens it adds a place mark in the middle of the screen. So now I have to move it to my desired location. I'm going to click on the place mark and drag it to this area So now it's in place where I want it to be. Now I'm going to go to the dialog here and give this source a name. So let's say Stack 2. And then I click OK, and we're done. And now it is in position. Now for building, it's a little different. you can also, for a building, let's go to our building here. We see that it is almost in place where it should be, but not quite. So I can also right-click on this properties option, and then as you see the mouse changes, you can now add new points to your building, or if you move over a corner, you can click and drag a corner to where it should be. But for this demo, instead of moving this building, I'm actually going to draw a new one on top of it to show you how to draw a building, or I should say how to draw a polygon. So let's actually hide our building and say add polygon. I'm going to give it a name again. And then when you're drawing a polygon, you also want to look at the Style and Color tab before you start drawing. You will want to select this option that's called Outlined, so that an outline of your polygon is shown. And then you may also want to change its color, which here I'll just change to this yellow color. Now, when you actually draw the corners, you shouldn't draw lines here. What you should do is just hold down the Shift key and just click on each location where the corners of the polygon should be. So that's what I'll do. So I'll just hold down the Shift key and then click 4 times at the 4 corners of my building. And as you see, as I do that, Google Earth creates this polygon. Now it looks like my corners are where they should be, but let me adjust that first corner. So again, I move over to the corner, and then click and drag it to where it should be. So now the building looks like it's where I want it to be. Now I click OK, and then it is saved in Google Earth. Yeah, and it's shown here in yellow. And of course, in your actual model, you would draw more buildings or more structures as appropriate. Now that we have drawn our objects, the next step is to save them to a file and bring them into BEEST. And that is done through that Places sidebar on the left side of the screen. There's an option there called Save Place that will save it to a file. And then we have created a new tool called Import KML that will convert that file to a spreadsheet with all the coordinates in UTM, UTM values. And actually, one thing that I should note is that if you hide an object in Google Earth, such as like our initial building, or let's say outside the fence line, it will not be converted. Only the visible objects will be, which are stacks and the new building. So the way you would access this tool is now through the Start menu. You would go to the Start menu, and then our BEEST for Windows menu, which is also where you open BEEST. And now there's a new entry here called Import KML, and that is what you will have to open. But first, let's go ahead and save our objects from Google Earth into this KML file. So to do that, I'll just click on this BEEST to Google Earth, which is the folder that contains all of our objects. Right-click, click the right mouse, and then say Save Place As. And then you have the opportunity to give it a file name, and you do have to select the KML file type here. So select the KML, give it a name. I'm going to just call it Demo, and hit Save. And once you have that file saved, you go to our import KML tool. And actually, let me close this for a moment. And then now this tool has three options on the Setup tab. The first option is the file that you import, which is our demo file. So I'll go ahead and select that. The second is where do I want to save the output file? What name do I want to give to that file? And I'm actually also going to call this one demo. And the final option is what coordinate system do we want to use? And this value must match the one that we have in BEEST. Since in BEEST we have the NAD83 system, the default option here is the appropriate one. If you had a NAD27 model, you would select the other option here. So now that we have these two files set up, go to the Run tab and just click the Import button. And in a minute or so or sooner, this will say that it's done. Now let's take a look at the file that it produced here, which is the next step here to open this file. And or you say the final steps once you have the file converted are to open it and then transfer your coordinates from it to BEEST. So let's go ahead and do that. And the way this file is structured is that first you have all of your point sources. Then you have polygons such as buildings and tanks. And finally you have the line sources that you have drawn, if any. So let's go ahead and put in our new stack, this is stack 2. So going back to BEEST, now I will go to my source options, grid view, copy stack 1, I suppose call it stack 2, and then I will paste the new coordinates for it from my file created by the import tool, and click OK. And now you will see that it appears in BEEST. Pretty much replaced it, or replaced it. Now for the building, as you recall, we also changed the building's coordinates. So now say edit building, and then paste my coordinates on top of the existing ones. So I'm going to go down here, and actually, when you copy polygon coordinates out of this file, you should copy all except the last one. So here's just the first 4. I'm going to copy them and paste, and click OK. And now our building location has changed to where it should be. And now I can save the model and go on. So once again, that is the process you would go through, which is to draw and or modify the location of your objects in Google Earth, then save them to a file through this Places menu, use our Imports tool to create a CSV file that can be opened in a spreadsheet, and finally paste coordinates into BEEST. And that's the end of this demo. And now in a minute, I will go ahead and unmute everyone so that you can ask questions about this demo.